I have since then embarked on fixing the dip tank. We have completed the dip tank. It has been somehow delayed because of a lot of the politics, but today we want to have the first dipping since 1987, when the animals were lost and some lives were lost. For many years, we've had promises of how the restoration of cattle is going to be done. In my own case, I had to have a meeting with my children, my nephews, my nieces, and even the grandnephews and nieces on what we're going to do in the future. All of them sought that we should restore the dip. The dip should function as it did before, as a community dip, serving the whole community in controlling vector-borne diseases. From that time, I told my children, for us to move forward, we have to let go of the past. In our own case, we had bitter memories of how Stanley Opeto, my grandfather, was killed in 1987, how other members of the family suffered gross violations to themselves, to their dignity. But we made a conscious decision. Let go in order to move forward. We have to give something to take hold of the future. And we chose at a family level to forgive the past and to leave it in the hands of God. I have since then embarked on fixing the dip tank. We have completed the dip tank. It has been somehow delayed because of a lot of the politics, but today we want to have the first dipping since 1987, when the animals were lost and some lives were lost. For us, as part of northern Uganda, to reclaim our future, I don't believe that we should hang on to promises. There are times you need to get up and do some of what needs to be done. I had also made a decision to seek out various dip tanks. We have been mapping and costing. The restoration of this dip tank in Akokoro should be the first of many. But to be able to do so, I'll be relying, of course, on the community where the dip tanks are, such that we restore our livelihoods and we manage our affairs in an organized way. As Uganda People's Congress, we came up with a different method on how the restoration of our livelihoods around cattle could be met. We put it clear in the manifesto. It's not a 5-year affair. It will take a number of years, but it is possible, and we can have a restoration of what the role cattle played in the community. I don't look at cattle as just as an asset. It was more like an insurance. It covered education insurance. It covered marriage insurance. It covered education insurance. Cattle could solve all the problems of society. So if we look at it simply as a returned asset, we're going to run into problems. And in order to be able to do so, us ourselves, my children and the next generation, need to learn how to take care of the cattle. So any program which is to restore cattle in this part of the country will start by training, will start by awareness. If that has not happened, I will not hang on to that promise. But while I wait, I will still be doing what I can. So that is basically why I've called you here today in Akokoro City. Welcome. I had received a quote from a prominent vet who caters for some of the big farms to rekit that dip tank to become a spray race. Spray race is gentler on animals, but has very many moving parts, so it's sometimes difficult to maintain. The quote I was given was 68 million. I opted to rehabilitate since I found the structure was the integrity was good, and I was able to do it at less than a quarter. of what that court is. It is not finished in that I've not roofed it, but the integrity, it was built well to start with, so the amount of work we had to put in was far less. And the deep tanks work better for communities because it's difficult for an individual farmer to have that sort of asset. Most people will be using hand pumps with spray chemicals, but once you spray, that chemical is gone. In a deep tank, it remains in the system. You just have to recharge each time the level goes. So it is more efficient use of the chemical, and you also don't have chemicals getting mixed up in the environment. So it's a more contained environment. So deep tanks were many, but they served communities. Our deep tank, though it was personal, it served the whole community because at the same time, our cattle would mix with other animals at the watering point. So if my animals don't have ticks and my neighbor's animals have ticks, those ticks will cross over. It works better for all of us if the whole area is contained. Same way that if mosquitoes are in your neighborhood, malaria will keep going around. But if you contain the whole neighborhood, then you prevent the problem of disease. At this moment, northern Uganda suffers from a disease which goes by abbreviation CBPP, which is it's a kind of pneumonia, and it affects the sales and the growth of animals. But you need to contain it holistically. I can't contain it without my neighbors containing it. So we need a holistic program which addresses this one, increases the value and increases the mortality of our animals. So the proposal is we need a holistic program. We can't have half-baked programs, a few mentions here and there, a program which works to solve the problem which we face.
That's one question you asked about how big the deep tank is.
This deep tank is approximately 15,000 liters capacity.
And what are some of the problems that the facility of that nature can solve?
It will control vector-borne diseases in the area. What we have here largely is tick, and we still have remnants of tsetse. So when you've treated your animals, you prevent the spread of ticks, and also if the tsetse come onto the animals, they also die, and therefore you maintain the area for better quality animals. At the moment, if you have not contained that one, if you bring, for example, a high-value dairy animal, and this tsetse fly comes and gets it, you can have suffer terrible loss. So you need to contain a lot of that environment.
Could you be knowing how many of these tanks are in our communities which need such rehabilitation?
My target was to have costed 80 deep tanks by the end of the financial year. The level of rehabilitation will depend on the level of damage, the access. Some of these deep tanks are found are now in private property. They will not be accessible to the community, unless the private owner of that property is willing. In my case, I'm very willing for the community to be able to use so. So there are they're in different parts. And these were set up and used to be maintained by government, because the control of some of these diseases is beyond an individual farmer. It has to be at a program national level. And if we say we're going to restock northern animals in northern Uganda, we must have an environment which can contain those animals. And if we want high quality animals, we cannot have some of these diseases which will put these high value animals at risk. So as a pre-starter, you must start many of these things. The deep tanks must be functioning. The vet services must be functioning. Then you can talk about introducing some of the animals which you want to be introduced.
Mr. President, you said your target was 80. What exactly do you mean?
I would love to have found 80 deep tanks, costed them, and rehabilitated them. I have this one rehabilitated. I've costed one in a lepton, which I hope to start on maybe the next month or so. That one is already costed. As they come and as support comes, I have a U.S. donor who has promised they're going to help with four deep tanks. So it's going to be piece by piece, but we have to do it. Somebody has to do it. 40 years we have been stuck. At least some of us have been stuck. I want to get out of this one. I've made my own decision. I urge others, let us take charge of our future.
Still on the tanks, are all these 8 in Lango Pavilion?
No.
This is mainly in the
This is mainly in the northern the areas of Choli, Lango, and Teso. That's where I focus most of it. But there are some in Karamoja, and there are also some in West Nile.
Bwana Pipi, you are raising this issue at a critical time when government is talking about cattle compensation or is talking as such. Is it your fear that without these deep tanks, the animals may become nothing? And then number two, what you're doing ought to have been done by the current government. Why are you taking it passionately? Yet there are people employed in MAIF to think on behalf of government, and it's the government that has resources that should have been committed to this cause.
There was also a question about deep tanks. In this particular area, the ones which are functional, of course, was ours. Mzee Maitum had one, and there's one in the Nagrik, Maruzi Ranch. They also had the deep tank within this area. There's talk of compensation. We've had talk of compensation. My fear with compensation often is the returns have not been there. If you have not prepared the society and you just bring animals, very often those animals will either die or they'll fail to maintain them. I've had situations where, and most of the animals which are sold or given in this situation are normally heifers, which is a young female. You're going to keep that animal maybe for a year or more than a year before it gets its first calf and you start getting milk. But all that period you have to input. And if you're giving it to somebody who has absolutely nothing, they'll start selling those animals even before. If they have no way of containing, dipping the animal, deworming the animal, you have to prepare the society. And you have to prepare people to do something which they might have not been familiar for a long time. I've had problems on my farm. There's a period where, despite having workers here, nobody knew how to milk a cow. Nobody knew how to milk a cow because they had not grown up milking cows. It's not something which you get automatically. You have to learn it. There's a generation which have not learned. Generation now, we need to teach that generation, teach them with the modern practice so that they can be the model farmer of tomorrow. It's not just going to happen. We need to prepare them. We need to have demonstration areas where we can have these things where they are seeing it actually being done and they get to know what it is. That way is where you're going to change the society. If you just talk about this issue, talk about it just at a level of talking, there's no reality on the ground. You have to go through that process. And a lot of it will be a learning process. For many, it is a learning process because there has been a disconnect. 40 years almost, that dip has not worked. Do my children know how to dip cattle? No. Have they seen cattle being dipped? No. So this is going to be a learning process. We're going to be learning again, how did we do it? How can we do it? As we continue to build, that will have the capacity to meet the future like that. But I found that I had to let go of the past. That is cost benefit.
Okay, Mr. President, you talked about maybe sustainability. How are you going to maintain these deep tanks?
In most places where deep tanks are used in the public, there is a charge which is put per animal. So somebody will come with their 30 animals, he dip, it is worked out, and that is done. This is done all over. I've seen it done in places like Omoro, and in parts of Acholi I've seen it being done on some of those deep tanks. In Kenya, when I was working in the field, even the government used to have those facilities. And they used to charge per animal. And if they found you with your animals and they were not dipped, the veterinary officer will confiscate the animals, dip the animals, and you'll be fined for not dipping, and you'll pay the fine also, the cost for dipping. Because the intention was you need to control the disease in the environment. You cannot have one person saying, no, I'm not going to do it. You need the whole environment because these vectors move. If you don't control it here, it will move, it will affect other areas. So it's important that the whole thing is well planned, well organized. So you can't have one side organized, one side not. We must do it holistically, planned, deliberate. Create the environment which can support this, create the training which can receive. That way is how you're going to be able to sustain. I'll share with you the write-up, which I have in the manifesto, which you can try to break down. We approach this as UPC that we wanted realistic solutions. We don't want this talking each time somebody comes with a wish list for a manifesto. Our manifesto are things which were practical, which can make a difference in people's lives. And I really hoped would have been tested in this. I had hoped these ideas would be interrogated, because our hope is for a Uganda which works for its citizens. That's the only way which I think all of us will develop. And I continue to hope that that will happen.
Thank you for watching Lango News channel. Please subscribe for more updates.